you please suggest us some strategy to allocate budget for digital transformation? How one entrepreneur can do it?
Beautiful. And this is where I'll give an example of a client that we work with. So we work with an insurance client for the past 6 years. It's a very big insurance industry in Bangladesh. And one of the things that we are doing with them is, and one of the things that every insurers have a problem with, is they have to continuously recruit and retain agents as they do their insurance business. Now, recruiting and retaining agents means there's a lot of training that is required for them to do, or for them to go through. Lack of training would mean that there is a lack of understanding, and lack of understanding would remain that they will not be able to properly execute to the market what they're supposed to deliver. Now, this is a bigger problem because people are spending their life savings perhaps on insurance. These are financial transactions which are very powerful. And to go through that process, one of the things that we realize is that what if we could transform their entire policy, the different policies that they have, into an e-learning course, which they can consume online over phone. Now, this is a digital transformation. This is an end in mind, where now the clients, essentially right now our agents, will have a better experience. They don't have to continuously go to the head office and headquarters or even bother their superiors to learn what this policy means. They can simply open up their phone and surf through that this is what it means in the first place, or understand. But now they can also serve the customers better. And now customers will have a better experience because their agents know what the policy, or which exact policy, which will be better for the customers itself. So they'll be able to make more informed decisions. That is the end in mind. Now, what have we done, or what we are trying to do in this place is, as we go through this e-learning course, how can they budget for it? There's actually 3 different budgeting policies. The first is capital expense, where they invest a significant amount in the first hurdle, or in the first phase, to develop an infrastructure. Now, that is something, and since we're talking about SME, that is something most SMEs might not be willing to do. And the reason for that is because they might not have exact clarity of the result, and that's why they will not be willing to make that investments. However, some businesses will do it. For example, for a company who does digital marketing, they will be willing to spend a significant amount of money on digital marketing tools. That's okay for them because that's how they make money. But for the same company, they might not be able to or willing to invest a lot of money on the HR. They may have now 50 employees or 100 employees. They have significant amount of employees, but they may not be willing to spend the same amount of money on HR technology to support their talents because they have no clear understanding of it. So that's the capital expenditure part. The second one is operation expenditure. And operation expenditure means there's one very specified function, and in that specified function, they're spending that money. For example, the simplest of that example would be, I wish to reach a lot more customers in a shorter amount of time. What is the best way of doing that? I can purchase a billboard. I can purchase an ad and develop an ad on TV, perhaps in one of the sports channel, in one of our cricket games. I can potentially create a lot of brochures. And the last one is, maybe I can invest in digital marketing, invest on a consulting firm who does digital marketing, who will help me in 30 days get 1 million viewers, 1 million reaches. Now, that is an operating expense. I have an exact, clear definition of what the result is. Now, how to go best about it? This is where digital transformation budget can be in place. And the third one is actually somewhere in the middle. I neither have a clarity of where I want to go or what I will perhaps receive, And on the other end, I have exact clarity, and I then can explore what options will fit for that result. But the middle one is somewhere in between. And this is where we sell software as a service. Because with software as a service, and if I were to go back to the insurance client experience, we could now invest not in LMS. We don't have to recreate a learning management system, but get a learning management system for a subscription. And what that means is I still don't have that clarity that whether this will work, but I don't have to make a huge amount of capital expenditure to get that running. I can get it running. I can see what the feedbacks are. I can listen to my customers and my employees and the stakeholders, what they say, and I can adjust. I may remove it. For example, we did the exact same thing when COVID came. A lot of us surfed at least 5 different platforms for communication. We used Cisco, we used Google Meet, we used WebEx, Cisco WebEx, we used MS Teams, Microsoft Teams, and now we use Zoom. And all of that perhaps took us $5, $10, $15, $20 a month, but we were able to get back out of it instead of investing $1,000 on Zoom, even though we ended up coming back to Zoom again. So these are the sort of decisions they can make. So in short, there's 3 ways of budgeting: capital expenditure, operating expenditure, and software as a service. But a lot of the important things will still remain as we discussed earlier. Build your shorter term and longer term strategies. Those will help you define what your results are and what your intentions are to get those results.
Perfect. The 3 strategies for financing digital transformation. Either you can invest in your infrastructure development, or you can spend a little amount of money to reach most of your clients within a fixed time, then or subscribe towards a software that can help you out to digitize your organizations. So digitization may happen, but do you think all digitization steps go exactly where it should go? Or is there any adjustment requirement? So what are the signs that, yes, my digital transformation needs adjustment?
Absolutely. And I think this is, as I've said, digital transformation is hardly about technology. It's about the management and the strategies behind the technology. And it is crucial for a management or the management body of the digital transformation to understand what are my success criteria? What do I think are my success criteria for? Is it the people? Are they functioning better? Is it the profit? Am I making better? Am I reducing my cost? Am I increasing my profit or my revenue? Is it the purposes? Am I able to reach more clients or build more loyalty in my customers? Is it the planet? Am I able to build a community that is getting impacted upon? And a lot of NGOs are also looking at that way, because NGOs metrics actually serve those planetary definitions or planetary purposes. Now, all of this requires chunking it down to smaller portions and identifying the success criteria of that portion only. For example, I want to know what my company will be in the coming 3 years. And for that, I need to know because one of the things, and I'll come back to the story of one of our clients. We have an IT client who's looking to transform their IT business. And to transform their IT business, as we know, IT, the most important resource are the talents, the developers, the programmers, the people who works in those industries. Now, to know that, they want to know what are the exact roles and the relationships of roles that I need for my business to survive and to grow, so that I can recruit my new talents, develop or redevelop my existing talents, and perhaps even build better human metrics for success. Now, we were able to chunk it down to many different parts, but the first one was, how can you build positions and the relationships of positions without an incumbent? Incumbent means that no one is there. We're not designing with employees in mind. We're designing with organization needs in mind. That is an exact measurement criteria. So once we're done with that, when we send it off, they were able to see whether it's successful or not, because the positions are now visible. The works are now